Hey, it's Donnie Cates, and you are watching Jim Mint Collectibles, and go fuck yourself, I don't know.
What's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint.
It's your girl Phie.
We're here with the recent reads on the absolute Batman killing joke. Stay tuned. All right. So here we got the Absolutes, the 30th anniversary edition of the Killing Joke. This is by Alan Moore and drawn by Brian Boland. Was that right?
Ain't colored.
No, yeah. We'll talk about that. So Brian Boland drew it. John Higgins was the original colorist, but Brian Boland colored the updated version. So, first of all, I've read The Killing Joke before. I reread it. It's not a long story. It's like 48 pages or 46 pages. But this is the first superhero comic that you read, right? Because so far, well, Prometheus kind of superhero. And it's by the same author.
I wouldn't call Prometheus. I mean, it's like got very little bits of...
And so does this, though. Because even though Batman is in this, he's only in a couple of panels. He doesn't really do any superhero, type stuff. It's really a Joker book, right?
It's a super villain book.
It's definitely a super villain book. So, we're going to talk spoilers because, I mean, this is such a quick read. It was originally released as a graphic novel, just basically a one-shot, oversized, standalone story. What's interesting is that it's like the first time you really get a Joker origin, even though you still don't know his real name. You do get a lot more backstory than you've ever gotten. Besides the Red Hood stuff, you get him as what do you call it? A starving comedian trying to get a job. His wife's pregnant at home. He's like a loser. And
behind on rent.
He's behind on the rent. And I guess the whole point of the Killing Joke is that anybody can become insane or anybody can become a villain. It just takes one bad day. So, where do you want to start on this? Do you have anything you want to throw in?
Well, I mean, this is the first DC book I've ever read.
Yeah, and you're traditionally not a DC fan.
Not really into the DC, but it was actually a pretty good story.
Nah, it's a good story. It's a classic story. And you have to understand, like, the time when it came out, like in the late 80s. I think it was 88, I feel like.
I thought it said 86.
Maybe 86. But at the time, it's kind of like, whoa, this is what comic books can be. It was like, he freaking shoots Barbara Gordon, paralyzes her. After this, she is always paralyzed.
Oh, really?
And she becomes Oracle, which is kind of like Batman's person at a computer that can help him out or whatever. Even like the scene when he buys the circus from that guy, and he shakes his hand, and you look back, and he gets all like Jokerized. It was pretty detailed, right?
Well, I mean that when I read the story first, and then I flipped a few pages, I was like, wait a second, the story again, but with all different colors that I like way better than the updated version.
So let's talk about that. So this Absolute Edition contains the story twice. It has the 2007 updated version where Brian Boland, who was the artist, he colored it himself. The original version was colored by John Higgins, and I read the afterword by Brian Boland, and he was not a fan of how John Higgins colored his art. And it's totally different.
It's completely different.
It's very like...
I feel like it's very retro.
Retro pinks and reds and bright colors. And I guess, yeah, in his head, he was like, whoa, that was supposed to be plain. And so what we'll do is we'll do a sky view and we'll compare like panel for panel stuff. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, he made it all bright and colorful. But I think you even agree, because I know you like the old version better.
Yeah.
But the new version, you can tell the flashback scenes so much better because it's pretty much all black and white. Whereas the original one, I could see where maybe it wouldn't have been as clear.
No, yeah, I wouldn't have understood.
All right, but we'll look at that over of the sky view more. But one of my favorite scenes is like I think on the first page where you have Batman walking through Arkham Asylum and you walk by Two-Face, and the way Two-Face looks in the cell where the bar is kind of splitting his face, and he kind of looks like distant. I don't know. It was cool though. So then you get he's interrogating Joker, but then he realizes once he sees the makeup go on his hands that it ain't Joker, and Joker escapes, and then that's where we get Joker's buying this circus, and then it goes into flashbacks, right? So we talked a lot about the flashbacks already. So they had what would you call this? They have a panel here where he's like going to reach for his wife's hand, but then it goes to present time where it's him as Joker reaching and it's like grabbing this clown's hand. Mm-hmm. They do that somewhere else too with the Commissioner Gordon scene. Mm-hmm. So what else do we got? So if you even notice when you have the Batcave and he's looking at it like the Joker. It shows you that Batman doesn't know anything. It's his oldest villain.
They were saying that, like, how can we both hate each other so much without knowing anything about each other? Batman's like trying to be like, look, I don't want to kill you. Yeah. And I'm not trying to have you kill me.
He doesn't know anything about age, name, anything. Mm-hmm. So we talk about him paralyzing Barbara Gordon. So then the whole thing it goes back to flashbacks, and the Joker, before he becomes the Joker, is going to do this heist to get rich. So that he could take care of his wife, his pregnant wife, and move her into a nice neighborhood and everything. And he's really nervous about it. He doesn't want to do it. And then the cops come in, and he's like, "Oh shit, I didn't do anything. What's going on?" And the cops are like, "No. Your wife died. How'd she die again?"
Oh god.
An electrical short. She was heating up a baby bottle.
Yes, that's right.
And she died. And then they leave, and he's like, he doesn't want to do the caper anymore. His whole reason for doing it was for her.
No, but they're like, nah, bro.
Like, now you can't leave.
Now you can't leave.
And then that's where we get the Red Hood stuff, and we learn that the Red Hood is actually anyone they put the hood on. Really, it's the fall guy of anything. Mm-hmm. And then we get the classic Batman busts him up. He falls into the vat of acid and comes up all crazy, and we get that iconic picture of him becoming the Joker. Ha 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 ha. With laughter.
Yeah, the Red Hood reminds me of Magneto.
Yeah, it is like the same chrome kind of red helmet. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he's paralyzed Barbara Gordon. He kidnaps Commissioner Gordon. He has him trapped in a cage at the circus, and he shows him all these pictures of naked Barbara Gordon with blood everywhere, with a gunshot wound to the belly that went through the spine. Batman comes and busts it up. And then you have the ending, which is very weird.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to take this.
And I think it's up for interpretation. It's like the Joker's like, hey, before you beat me to a pulp, let me tell you this joke. And he tells him a joke. What is it? It's basically...
two dudes escaping from an insane asylum.
Right. And the first guy jumps right across, no problem. The second guy doesn't jump, and he says, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll shine this flashlight over. You walk across the beam of light to the other side.
He's like, oh, no, buddy. You're not going to trick me. You're going to turn that light off halfway through. It's like, what?
So Batman laughs. He gets Batman to laugh, and then they both break out into hysterical laughing, and it ends.
Yeah, like...
Like, what happened? Did Batman go crazy?
Well, I mean, Joker squirts him with that stuff, and he, like, puts an antidote. Like, what it may be... I don't know. Like, he's, like, gone mad, because he's got that pin thing on his hand that he made the other guy... go cuckoo. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the ending is supposed to mean. I think it's still supposed to be one of those things like, oh shit, the killing joke, and then it ends, I don't know. It was a killer joke. Maybe in the comments you guys can, let us know what your interpretation of that ending was. When it goes to this other paper, it is like a newspaper kind of comic book paper.
I like the way that feels better too. I like it better than the glossy. But does that ink rub off on that paper like that?
No. Then you have a ton of script in this book, and it looks like Alan Moore detailed panel for panel what was going to be drawn. Like, I was always... I've seen other scripts, and usually it's just like Joker, da-da-da-da, Batman, da-da-da, and then the artist just fills it out. But it looks like Alan Moore... He really
detail.
He mapped this thing out. Then you have a short story about the origin of Joker by Mark Waid in the back. So, I mean, that's the Killing Joke in a nutshell. I really like this deluxe, Absolute Edition. They took the original cover here, and they kind of gave you the left and right view of the Joker holding the camera. Then you have that. There's a scene where he becomes the Joker from the panels. This had like a $75 cover price. No, $50 cover price. And a lot of people gave it shit because it's like such a short story to get an absolute edition. But I mean, it's a classic story.
It's a very nice book.
It's a nice book, well constructed. You want to say anything about it, or you want to just go into the sky view?
I'm excited to go into the sky view to show them the comparisons because it's really interesting.
Personally, I prefer the updated version.
I mean, for readability, the updated version is better, but the colors look way better in the original to me.
They're definitely different. So we'll show you guys now. So let's take a look. All right, so let's do this. Let's do like panel for panel, right? So let's grab the new version. And to me, I think I also like the new version because that was the artist's intention. You know what I'm saying? Like the first version was just not the artist; it was the colorist, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so this is the first scene from the updated version, first pages. Now notice the Two-Face, right? I think that's something that stands out. See, this one has him like more green. It's a lot more yellowy. Right? Mm-hmm. It's more blue and green, and this is like more gray and black, I guess.
Mm-hmm. They're more like neutral colors. I feel like these are very like the way that.
Right. Yeah, these are more neon, and like these are more neutral. Yeah, you're right. Let's look at. Maybe we want to look at every page, right? Let's look at ones that. I don't know. This one's
when you get to the carnival, it gets really crazy.
Well, this one I thought they did pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
But the carnival has blue and green. This one's just more subtle. All right, here's a good one. So here's the first flashback scene, and you can tell right away it's a flashback, especially with this last panel, right? And you see how the hand stretched out thing. Phie noticed that.
They do it a couple of times though.
But this one, it has so much color that you might not realize that it was a flashback scene. Yeah. Now you pointed out something funny about her, right?
Like,
why all of a sudden does she look psychotic?
Yeah, like she looks like a normal woman here, like just sort of plain, nothing, and then she looks crazy.
Maybe because he made her laugh. Maybe she thought that was funny. Here's another one too. So I like how when he kills the circus guy and you turn back and look at him,
he's Peach here, and then.
Mm-hmm. But on the original version.
I like this better.
I don't know how you can
He just looks crazy. He's been affected by him, but here they make him look like him. Exactly.
Look at the difference here from the Batcave. Oh, so much red. Yeah, like why would you make the Batcave red? I can see where the artist was like, "Whoa, you really went left field with that, right?" This one's not that different. I mean, the colors are definitely different, but I mean, just look, so much red. Compared to like more realistic, I guess. Here's another flashback scene. So it's obvious a flashback, right? You're going from this with color, boom, flashback, except for like the crawfish or whatever and the helmet. And then look at this. Man, I like the new one so much better. You are tripping. What else?
Oh, do you go show them? These things remind me of American Horror Story Freak Show. Pepper, the pinhead.
Yeah.
That's what they look like to me.
Did I pass that part already, Steph?
No, you didn't pass it yet. But
here's another symmetric thing that Phie noticed. So it shows the Joker with his head and hands like that, and then Commissioner Gordon has the same exact pose right up there. And I bet you it's hard to see in the old color. Yeah, because it's all like red, right?
Mm-hmm. Flip
Look at this. Jeez.
Flip back again? Yeah, I guess, yeah.
This is colorized, but in the original one it's all red or pink.
Pink, fuchsia.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the difference in this. Yeah, he's so creepy. I read both stories because I was wondering if any parts of it would have been different, like if the creatures of the carnival might have looked a little bit different. Everything's exactly the same.
Yeah, the art is the same for sure. Did I pass the thing? Yeah, so here's that scene right there, and then it has more color in it in the original one. I guess that's about enough to show the difference, right?
Mm-hmm. I do like the original one better. The colors, like just on the page that you have your hand on. Look at that.
It's definitely jarring though. Neon green when The artist just wanted it to be like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the script is crazy amount of scripts, man.
Look at, for that one page, how much he wrote.
Crazy. But I don't even see any dialogue. I mean, is he writing it in there? Or... What is this?
Oh, here's dialogue right here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That homework's crazy. Alright, I guess that's about enough, right? Mm-hmm. Alright, guys, so that's the recent reads on the Batman Killing Joke, the Absolute Edition. You got anything you want to add? No?
No.
Let us know what you think about in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like on the way out and subscribe to the channel for more recent reads. I think I am going to try to knock out a couple of quicker reads like this because when reading this BPRD marathon is taking forever. I'm reading this Colossal Conan book, which is like a dictionary.
I don't know how you're doing that one.
I think I'm going to get you to read Absolute Flashpoint with me because, I mean, I do want you to start reading some superhero books. You're almost done reading The Boys, and I know you want to read Preacher, but I want to kind of, read some of these things with you. I kind of want to read the Absolute Justice League by Jim Lee as well. Anyway, you guys put a recommendation. What should Phie read? Dope superhero books. Marvel, DC. She doesn't want your traditional superhero books, I would say. Which is why I got you to read this.
Yeah, this was good. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was.
People are going to say Watchmen. I know you didn't really love the movie.
It was too weird.
It was weird for me at first, too, but then I was like, I got it. Like, at first I didn't get it. I'm like, what is this fake-ass Batman?
I mean, I do like how...
Rorschach?
Like the way that it looks, but the storyline was parts of it were like, I don't really understand what's going on.
It's a little dense. All right, so, yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. Stay minty fresh. Peace.